Greetings and salutations. It's another deep dive episode of the Chicks on the Right podcast. Very, very excited about today's episode. Very excited.
Oh, God, me too. We get to talk about like one of my favorite subjects of all time, and that's Gleeborg 9. So excited.
We are going to talk about Gleeborg 9. But before we do that, I have a delightful email to share with you from Brittany Kornberg, who writes, "Hey chicks, I have been listening to you gals since 2020. Thank you so much for being so informative and such a breath of fresh air in the mornings. I don't catch the live shows because I live in Utah and I can't wake up that early. But as soon as I sit down to eat breakfast with my 6-year-old, thank you, by the way, for the hide your kids, hide your wives warnings, LOL.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I turn the show on. He loves to say, chicks with you. Anyway, I bugged my husband so much about the squeezy kitten fur technology. He bought me some MyPillow moccasins for Christmas using code CHICKS. And I can say that the squeezy kitten fur technology is the perfect way to describe them. Since I got them, if I'm home, they are on my feet, and my feet are so happy. Thank you for all you do."
I love
That's
that.
I know, right?
We like happy feet. Brittany's happy feet. We love them. You guys, you get the huge discounts on slippers, mattress toppers, and towels, and then also the 60% off Giza Dream Sheets, which are my favorite. I love them because you feel like you're
luxurious.
silky, luxurious, just luxurious. It's so nice.
So go to mypillow.com/chicks. Use code CHICKS to get all of those discounts. All right. So we are going to take a little trip down memory lane.
So fun.
All the way back to January of 2013, which is where our story begins. Because that was when we first experienced, way before I feel like basically anybody else in the world, experienced being censored by Facebook. And that is who you refer to as Gleeborg 9, the whole
Gleeborg 9
enterprise.
Right. He's exactly. I feel like he is an alien from the planet Gleeborg, and he is Gleeborg 9. So, like, we've been in business since 2009, and then, you know, we begrudgingly got onto Facebook thinking, oh, this will be fun. Like, Facebook will be fun. Let's just get out there. Because, like,
fun back in the day.
What now?
It was fun back in the day. Remember?
It was fun. It's like when things were chronological and it made actual sense. It was fun. You're right. I'll give you that. It was. It's just so hard for me to remember.
I know.
When it was fun, you know, but it was. You're right. It was fun back in the day. And we got on it, and so we thought, okay, this will be fun because we can, you know, people may come here, because we used to think that people would just go directly to our website. And remember, there was a time in the world when people went to actual websites directly
and bookmarked them. Remember?
Right. Yes.
And like added them to favorites.
God, I still do that.
Old timer.
But I do. I still have favorites and bookmarks and all that kind of stuff. But people used to do that. And then it became a thing where people went to Facebook first. They get up in the morning, they get their coffee, their routine is Facebook became their thing. And then they go there first, and that's how they get to every place. It's like the conduit for everything. And we were victims of that, because in 2013, you did a thing. What did you do, Mock? What did you do?
I did a thing where I wrote a post, as we do, right? And as we now do again, now that we're full-time chicks, we do a lot of writing for our website, chicksontheright.com. So I wrote a post about press secretary at the time for Obama, who was Jay Carney. And that was so long ago. Holy crap.
God,
but anyway,
oh my
he was
God.
so weaselly. Yes. Oh my God.
What is it? What's he doing now? Like, what is that guy doing now? I don't even know.
I don't know. God. We need to look that up.
Right.
He's probably like going to be on Dancing with the Stars if he hasn't been already.
Totally.
So I wrote a post about him. I don't even remember what the post was about, but I titled it, or I captioned it rather, Jay Carney can kiss my assular area. Because for whatever reason, I was mad at him.
I mean,
almost every day. As I would be,
you would title it. Yeah.
And so that was a pretty typical title for me. And so
I mean,
I
totally.
that is when, and this is again January 2013. So this is about when trolls realized that they could cause a lot of damage to people. And so a whole bunch of trolls en masse decided to report that post for being whatever, it was mean to Jay Carney, I guess. And so they reported it en masse. And because of the way that the algorithms worked at the time, Facebook immediately just took it down and then shut me out of my account, leaving me completely unable to access anything on Facebook, which was at that point now a lifeline, a business lifeline, essentially. And that is when you sprung into action.
Right. So she wrote me at, like it was like 5 a.m, because we both had regular jobs at that time. And I remember you wrote me and you were like, oh my God, I'm locked out. You called me or wrote me or somehow you got into contact with me. You wrote, oh my God, I'm shut down. What are we going to do? And we both were freaking out. So I was like, holy crap, I can't believe this is happening. Like, what in the world? And so I said, okay, well, I'm afraid that it's going to, like, you're going to rub off on me. I'm going to get shut down. Eventually it'll be me too. And then we're both going to be shut down. And what are we going to do with our platform? Because we have this, we're starting to get this increasingly bigger platform. And at that time we thought it was massive. And even though we only had, I don't even know how many followers at that time.
It was about 40,000.
Which to us was huge. That was a huge following. It was massive to us. So anyways, I went out and I started telling everybody. It was like this PR assault. Oh my God, we're getting shut down. We're getting censored. Mock is down, blah, 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 telling everybody. And so word kind of spread, it was like kudzu, just kind of was like everywhere. And eventually Todd Starnes got wind of it. Todd Starnes at Fox News Radio. Sorry, my alarm's going off. Todd Starnes Radio got wind of it. And he contacted us, which I could not believe. I guess he saw that. He saw us as sort of being the underdogs getting shut down, like these two Midwest moms who, ran this business on the side. He saw us getting shut down. He was like, oh, no, you didn't. And he contacted you. And we were both like, oh, my gosh, Todd Starnes just contacted us. Oh, my gosh. And then it became, we got some more publicity out of that.
Well, we got publicity in the weirdest way too, because at that point, this was not a common occurrence. This was like a unique, almost one of a kind situation. And in a sense, we were trailblazers when it came to being censored by Facebook, which is why it became such a big story. And it became so big that in fact, you can look at, if you do a search on YouTube, you can find a clip of Whoopi Goldberg talking about us on The View.
That's right.
And she told this story on The View, and she said, "The chicks on the ride. Ooh, I like that name. I'll never forget that." And because it was such a big deal. Now, of course, people are taken off of Facebook like every 2.5 seconds, so it's not a big deal anymore. Even though the pain is real for everybody that goes through it now. Back then, it was news. Right?
Yeah, it was news. And it is kind of funny that of all people, like nowadays, oh my God, Whoopi Goldberg would never say our names out loud.
Never.
And if she ever, and I remember she, like you say, she made a comment about how she thought our name was really cool. And at that time, she thought it was cool. Nowadays, she would be like, oh my God, chicks on the right, they must be racist. It would be, nowadays, it's just like when we went on Don Lemon's show back in 2014, he was very, very nice to us. And nowadays, oh my God, he would hate us. Everything's changed now. Everything has morphed into just, everything is amplified now. And back then, you're right. We were sort of, I don't want to say we were the OGs, but we were definitely one of the first people to ever be shut down like that. And so it's, and I'm amazed every day that we're still up and running. I'm amazed every day that, we're still on Facebook. I mean,
it's incredible.
The fact that we're still up and running, every day I go, wow, we're still here. We're still here.
Now it's not going to last. And that's sort of the next part of our story. But before we get to that, I have another email to share from Jennifer McManus Dudek. Where did you go?
I'm listening to you. I'm just unplugging. I'm unplugging my alarm so it doesn't bother us anymore. Keep going.
I just looked up and all of a sudden you're just gone.
I'm here. I'm still here.
So Jennifer McManus Dudek writes, Hi, Mock and Daisy. I am pleased to report that I took advantage of the Genucel most popular product sale and received my order right before Christmas. It was basically my gift to myself. I got it for a better price than I even imagined, was so excited to get my order, but when I opened the box, I noticed that one of the products was missing. So I contacted them and they got back to me immediately, sent me the missing item right away. It has been about 3 weeks of using Genucel, and I'm noticing my skin is much more soft and smooth. My 11s and forehead lines have decreased significantly. Thank you both for your amazing recommendation. I'm going to take advantage of this great pricing for the most popular products package and grab another set so I don't run out. And
That's
this is
awesome.
a great time, especially right now, Jennifer, because now until Valentine's Day, so essentially for this next week, you get Genucel's anti-aging primer for free when you order that.
I love it. It's seriously my favorite. I love this stuff. I'm obsessed with it. And it makes everything look really dewy. I barely wear makeup now because I'll put that stuff under what you're supposed to wear it under makeup, but I'll just put like a tiny bit of makeup on now. I just love it. It's like so glowy and dewy and awesome. And it has all these wonderful, yummy things in it for your skin. It's just fantastic. I cannot sing its praises enough. So really, you guys should get it just for that. It's the great.
I mean, seriously, it's worth it. And then, of course, when you get the most popular products package anyway, that is already full of amazing, very specifically curated stuff from Genucel. So go to, by the way, the website has changed. So if you've ordered before, make note, the website is now genucel.com/chicks. If you use code chicks, you're going to get an extra 10% off plus the free primer plus free shipping. So Genucel, GENUCEL.com/chicks. Use code chicks. All right. So now we are up to present day. And what happened this past Friday was once again, I get restricted on Facebook. I get one of those big glaring red X's. It's always me. I'm always screwing something up. Mm-hmm. And so I get this notice that my personal account is restricted, which is obviously a problem because my personal account runs all of the other accounts, right?
Right.
So it's a big fat problem if I get shut down. And so I'm looking at the restrictions and it says I'm in trouble because I bullied and harassed someone. But then when I want to see, well, show me what I did. I would love to know how I did that. It says this content has been removed. So they won't tell me what I've done. They won't tell me when I've done it. For all I know, it could have been in 2010. You know what I mean? I have no idea.
Yeah.
So I have no idea.
That's typical though. That's a typical way that they do it though. They do that with a lot of people, especially conservatives. I mean, I'm just putting that out there. They'll just say, oh, you've done this. You've broken our rules. You've done this. You've done that. And it's like, okay, well, what did I do? Give me specific. Like where are the receipts? We don't have receipts. We're just shutting you down for the next, and that's arbitrary. Like they punish you and they said you're punished for the next 36 hours. Where did you come up with that number? You know what I mean?
Well, and then even that changed. So initially it said you're going to be, you cannot do anything on your personal profile. You can't like or comment or post for 24 hours. And I didn't even get that notice until like 17 hours had already passed. And so it wasn't a big deal because it was on the weekend, thank God. But then there was another thing that said you're not allowed to participate in your groups for 3 days. And so that was another thing. And then when that ended, like I still look at my account now and it says you're restricted for the next 27 days. So that means anything that you do post is going to be substantially lower in the news feed. It's not going to get priority, whatever that means. I don't even know what that means. But in essence, it's just one more example and one more strike against my account. And the problem with this is that ultimately I am going to be shut down. Like there's no getting around this because no matter what I do, it's not going to be okay with Facebook because their goal is to silence people with whom they disagree. So we're just we're just like biding our time at this point. And then I was starting to see like as administrators of our groups, we can see when someone else gets dinged or gets, a comment removed for breaking community standards. And the examples of what gets people removed are so freaking dumb.
They're so insane.
Oh my God. Yep. One was a screenshot of the TV when Fox News was showing a University of Florida study, which outlined all the different grossness you can find on a mask. And that got somebody banned from Facebook. What the hell? I mean, that's
Yeah.
freaking crazy.
Yep, it is crazy. And it's like it makes you wonder who's making this stuff up. Who makes you the arbiter of the rule? Who makes the rules? Who's making the rules? And then who's deciding who gets shut down? Are there people doing this, or just robots going through and doing it? Because I honestly don't know, because we've had a lot of experience with Facebook, but the problem with Facebook, and we'll get to the next step too of where we're actually going to go. But the problem with Facebook is that there aren't a lot of people to talk to. You don't, like, if you have a problem with something, you can't reach out and go, hey, I have a problem with this. I would really like to solve it. And we'd love to be able to remedy this. So I need a human being to talk to so I can do that. Because listen, in good faith, we're trying to make things right. And we would do that if it was a business. And I know y'all have people working there, for crying out loud. Is there a human being that we can talk to? And I think that we talked to a human being one time, and I felt like I was talking to a wall after talking to that human being, because it was about as effective as talking to it's honestly, we would have had better luck talking to one of my Great Danes. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just being completely honest. That's how I felt after that discussion. It was not fruitful at all. So, the other platforms, new and improved platforms that are out there, people who have gone out and created new platforms, they understand that customer service is one of the big things that is lacking at Facebook, because, man, Facebook sucks. And one of the biggest complaints that people have had for the past decade is that there is some big puppeteer up there just shutting people down, and they're like, it's because it's so authoritarian. There is no rhyme or reason to it. There's nothing you can do about it. You're just waiting to get squelched. We're just waiting. Right. And as a business person, that's terrifying, because if you rely so much on that, you're like, at any point in time, it's just like the government shutting you down during COVID. We could get shut down at any second just because the Gleeborg 9 man doesn't like us. He doesn't like our politics. He doesn't like us. Yeah, it's terrifying.
Well, and what's really scary is that, so obviously there's new conservative, or at least other platforms that have been started by conservatives with freedom in mind and no censorship in mind, which is great. But also the bigger issue beyond that, and we'll talk about locals in a second, but like the bigger issue beyond that is, now that every company, I'm not even talking about social media anymore, I'm talking every company is dealing with this. Do we get woke? Do we not get woke? Do we enter the political fray? Do we not? Now it's going to get to the point where literally we've become so divided as a country that companies are going to have to separate. So there's going to have to be a conservative Coke and a conservative Nike and a conservative, like every company is going to have a conservative version or competitor, because that's how dumb everything is right now. It's so dumb.
Yeah. I mean, heck, even at one of the last companies that I worked at, and I mean, I would never say who it was, but one of the last companies I worked at, even the conservative people that worked there were unwilling to say that they were conservative. I mean, they were, it's like, it's being conservative. It's such it does make me wonder, because there is such a strange thing in this country, like a tug of war right now with, are you liberal? Are you conservative? Everything is so polarized and so politicized that people are so afraid of being canceled or shut down that they're like, oh my God, like keep politics out of it. I'm not going to say what I am. I can't say that I'm conservative. You and I, obviously, we do what we do. We're obviously very outwardly conservative. And so that poses a bit of a threat to us, because we're targets. And so there's always going to be a target on our back. Somebody's always going to be trying to shut us down. So obviously we're going to try to find a place where, I hate to say it's a safe space, but at least it's a place where we know we're not going to constantly be targeted to get shut down. And
that really, we won't have our members constantly targeted and like being afraid to just say what they want to say without getting a COVID label or a fact check on it. It's so tiresome to deal with that constantly with Facebook.
It's completely exhausting. That's been the one thing about Facebook that has been so it's just been exhausting, because every day you wake up and you're just like, oh, is this community of 1.4 million people going to go away overnight? And then furthermore, it's not even the 1.4 million. It's the smaller group. It's the community that has become even more close-knit that we've built, that, these people, they travel together. They love one another. They pray for each other. These people are close-knit. Can you imagine losing them? I mean, it's like, that would be the most hurtful thing. So that's why going to locals is so crucial for us, and finding an alternative. And then we pretty much decided on locals because you know, it's free. It's, when I say free, it's free like caw, that kind of free.
It's America free.
It's
Now,
America
it can
free.
also
Yeah.
be like
Right.
monetarily free. You can be a member of our Chicks on the Right .locals.com. You can be a member there without paying anything. But if you want to participate in the community, then it's $5 a month, or you can get a discount if you do like an annual membership, $50 a year, essentially 2 months free if you do it that way. But that allows you to post things in the community, to engage with one another. It works essentially just like our insider subscriber group does on Facebook right now. And I love the way that actually one of our insiders described it earlier today. They said that the entire Locals platform, this is the perfect way to describe it, the entire platform of Locals is a gigantic platform for all the itty bitty insider communities, for all the creators. So if, for example, you are a financial supporter of Dave Rubin on Facebook and you are a part of his insider group, well, now you can do that same thing on Locals. So instead of just being a platform where everybody is everywhere and trolls can come and get you, no, you now choose the communities that you want to belong to. And once you choose to become a member of our community, you can interact with the other members and you can interact with us, because we're going to be way more engaged out there. The only thing that we're waiting on essentially is for their integration with StreamYard so that we can live stream together directly to that platform. That's the one thing that they're missing, but they're saying that they're going to have that in second quarter. So we're super stoked about that. And then it'll be like the best place ever.
Yeah, then it'll be like it's on like Donkey Kong. Like it's so on. Yeah. So that's why it's super important for people to go check it out, because I mean, I think the most important thing to us is freedom. It always has been. It's one of the big things that we fought all these years for. It's why we do it. It's one of the big reasons that we do what we do. One of the top, 3, 4 reasons that we do what we do. Freedom is it's essential to us.
Yeah.
And so we want to make sure that we have that. We want to make sure that our people have that. And so that's why we want to get over there.
And just so appreciative of the people that have supported our little community there so far. It's been an overwhelming response, thanks in part to Dave Rubin, who retweeted us about it the other day. That was really, really helpful. And so now we're seeing a lot more people come and join us. Really quickly, we need to talk about our good friends at EdenPure, because we have another email from Trish, who took advantage of the $200 off the Thunderstorm air fresheners that we have been talking about for weeks and weeks and weeks with EdenPure. They're the coolest. Do you have yours, by the way? Do you have yours close by?
Yeah. Yep, it's right here. I get it. I can get it.
Because it's like, it's not even as big as a book, you guys. It's like not even as big as a hardcover book. It just plugs right into your wall or USB port. Look at that. That tiny little handheld thing freshens a gigantic room. And the most amazing thing, you have to hear this email. It's so great. So this is from Trish. She says, first off, I adore you ladies. Secondly, I live with my husband and our 4 furry canine pals. In Fort Wayne, Indiana, when it snows, these pups get stinky wet fur. We let them dry off in our utility room, which is very generous in size. However, I have tried everything to get that room to smell undog-like. I've struck out over and over again until we got the EdenPure air purifier using the discount code CHICKS3. CHICKS3. Well, I am here to tell you, I didn't even tell my husband I put one of these little pieces of pure brilliance into the dog room, but he noticed. He asked me, what was I spraying in that room to make it smell so clean? Whatever it was, please get some for his office and his car because it smells so good. So guess who just ordered another 3-pack? Yup, this chick. Thank you for helping me convert the dog smell room into a clean air room. Yeehaw, she says.
That's awesome. See, Cash just came in here and shook his head because he totally heard her talking about smelly dogs, and he's like, "I'm a smelly dog." And see, I got 2 big, huge Great Danes in this tiny little cabin. It's this thing is the only thing I totally hear her. It's the only thing I've got 2 of them. I got 1 in the loft and then 1 in this room. And if I didn't have them, this place would smell like a kennel. It's seriously. because it's
They
tiny in
work
here.
so well.
They're amazing.
And because they connect with USB, a lot of cars now have a USB connection. So if you're like driving stinky boys, which I do sometimes, if you have to drive stinky boys, that you can freshen up your car. You don't have to drive around with that smell. They're amazing. So go to EdenPure, EDEN, puredeals.com. And then when you put in code CHICKS3, you save $200 on a 3-pack of the Thunderstorm air fresheners, and you will want one in every single room. I promise. I mean, that is how
they are really amazing. They're like magic.
Yeah. So great. Okay. So really, we wanted to give some background today about our struggles with Facebook. They are continuing. They continue to get worse. It's no longer a free speech zone there. It just isn't. People are feeling very squelched, including us. And so we would highly encourage everyone to join us at chicksontheright.locals.com, and also make sure that you are subscribing to this podcast wherever podcasts are found. You're going to be able to take us with you. If you want to listen to us in the car or wherever you are traveling, you can hear our podcast. So you should definitely do that as well.
Mm-hmm. And listen, if you're having trouble getting onto Locals, I think that we could probably, there's a couple people in our insiders group that have put out little tutorials. They're very helpful. And we may want to think about putting those on our site or something, because I know a lot of people are like, it's new. I don't like new things. I hate change, blah. You know, so maybe we can consider doing that. Don't be afraid of change, man. Change is great. It's
and don't
really
forget
good,
that when Facebook started and Twitter started, when any of these platforms started, there's always glitches in the beginning, right? It takes a while for them to get all the kinks worked out. But this place is worth it. It was started by Dave Rubin. It is awesome. We are really liking it so far.
And I think it's going to take off. I really do, especially in light of everything that's happened with Facebook. Lost a lot of money last week. And I think the people are finally going, you know what? We're fed up with your crap. You're not the boss of us. And so we're going to start, you know, putting our money where our mouth is, kind of a thing. And they're starting to look for other options. It's obvious, because you can tell, because the pocketbook is taking a hit. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be very interesting. But yes, find us in all the places. Social media, other places you can find us social media wise: Instagram at Chicks on Right, Twitter at Chicks on Right, pretty much everywhere social media at Chicks on Right, Parlor, all the places. So check us out in all those places. And like Mock said, you can take us in your pocket when it comes to this podcast.
Put us right in your tool belt.
Put us right there in the tool belt. Put us in your tool belt. You guys, talk to you next week. Have a wonderful one.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.